We're fighting who's a bigger fan of Yasmine. That's what we're doing.
Who won?
I won, or at least that's my position. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Omar Asamism episode 12. Right now, we have Yasmine Mohammed, which me and Lalo are arguing over who's a big number one fan of Yasmine Mohammed. Yasmine, thank you so much for coming on, and we love you.
Anytime, Ahmad. You know that. I'm one of your biggest fans, too. I'm a total believer in Omar Asamism.
Yes. And I'm a believer in Yasmine Mohammedism. Yasmine Mohammed. And it's weird listening to Yasmine Mohammed, not Yasmin Mohammed.
Yeah.
You're used to hearing the Yasmine Faisal Ali.
Yes.
Those words are...
Well, I'm going to tell you the honest truth. For the longest time, hearing my name said properly, like Yasmine, would give me like heart palpitations. It made me very uncomfortable because growing up, all of my, like at school, all my Canadian friends called me Yasmine. And it was at home where I was called Yasmine. So when I would hear Yasmine, it would remind me of my mom. And I would just be like, ew, don't call me that. But
exactly, and whoever says Yasmine Mohammed is probably like, you can stereotype in, oh, what are you saying? Where are you coming from?
Yeah. But things are totally. It's so different now. I mean, this is. It's been 15 years since I left the religion, so things are a lot better. But in the beginning, I think I mentioned to you, I wouldn't even eat hummus. Like I wanted nothing to do with Arabs because they reminded me of Muslims, and I wanted nothing to do with any of that. But now it's like, it's so wonderful to meet people like you and Faisal and to feel proud of my Arab heritage, because now I love Arab atheists are like the best. They are the fucking best. And they make me so proud. And now I'm really, really glad to be Arab.
First of all, there's other reasons not to eat hummus. Second,
Faisal was so upset, by the way, when you said you didn't like hummus.
I'm always insisting, like any time, like, oh, you're Egyptian, so you like hummus, koshari, shawarma. No, wait. Don't assume anything, dude.
Yeah.
I do like koshari, and koshari is really cheap, so good for me. About the proud of my culture, from what you've seen, you shouldn't be proud of your culture. Like, actually, it's a good thing. And by the way, whenever like the conversation, listen, guys, we're only criticizing religion, we're not criticizing culture. I have no problem in criticizing culture also. Like, culture is not off limits when it comes to criticism, as well as ideologies and religion. Like,
yeah, but I feel like I'm proud of Arab atheists, which is a brand new thing. It's not. We don't have a culture yet. We're creating one. But like people like Hamid Abdus Samad and Sharif Gabid, like, man, these people make me proud that I share the same heritage as them. You know,
Sharif does so much work on his video because before he posts it, he's
so much research.
He overanalyzes even editing. Like he's going insane over his videos.
Yeah, that's why they're so good.
No, I said that argument because, like, in your presentation, guys, Islam is a religion. Culture is fine. We're not criticizing their culture. In each country, it has its own culture. We're criticizing religion here. Some of those culture have shitty things too.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
In those culture, because I had this argument with someone who cultures is off limits. Okay, let's criticize religion. The first thing I said is, fuck Chinese food binding. That's culture. Fuck it. Yeah. Like you know, like even culture is not off limit. And I'm not someone here being even proud of my culture. I'm still me. I'm proud of myself. First of all, I'm proud of friends I know and what they did. And a lot of Egyptian stuff I'm proud of because it's good. But I choose it of my own will to say, this guy, this Egyptian woman, this is good. I would be associated more to an Egyptian singer or actress more than some stuff that deep down Egyptian culture, which I disagree with.
I don't care what culture it is or what religion it is or where it comes from. If the thing is some sort of abhorrent behavior, that's all I care about. So I'm going to criticize it regardless of where it stems from.
No, it's because I saw some of the people moving slightly from the left saying, okay, you're right. Islam is an ideology. We're still multiculturalists. We should respect culture. Culture is off limits. So they still didn't go all the way. You know what I mean?
Oh, and baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps. Okay, we should be glad. At least, okay, Islam is now an option.
We're moving there. Yeah, if we can at least get people to approve of the fact that we can criticize Islam the way we criticize other religions and other ideologies, if we can get there, I'm happy. And then, of course, the next step. I mean, Sam Harris has a really great TED Talk where he talks about this, right? He talks about how morality, how it is not, it's universal.
Exactly.
Right? Like, we all know that you shouldn't be covering women up in black head to toe. We all know you shouldn't be cutting off clitorises. This is not something, you don't need to be coming from a certain culture in order to know if this is right or wrong, right?
And like the most important
human thing. It's
exactly. But the most important thing in the Sam Harris argument is we should always just look at consequences. Consequences matter when it comes to right and wrong. Just any action, whatever it sounds, whatever it's coming from, whatever culture, whatever religion, its consequences causes human suffering. Therefore, it's morally wrong. Done. It doesn't need to even get, and that's why I'm a consequentialist on most subjects. But Yasmine, I wanted to talk to you about Europe again, because I'm in the middle of the strange death of Europe, and I agree with Douglas Murray and all things, and you wouldn't believe this, but I see it more depressing than he does, because
really? He's already really pessimistic.
I'm more pessimistic because he's seeing the death of Europe, and I'm seeing the death of Europe and the rise of Islam as a strength in Europe, both. Like this, I've seen over the last year some new arguments for the existence of Allah that I haven't heard before. I argue with Muslims all the time. Some new strengths in Muslim identity in Europe. We're European Muslims. Some new. This whole thing is new because, of course, all arguments for the existence of Allah, existence of God, we both will recognize as stupid. But when I hear something new, I still like, holy shit, this is new, and it's kind of getting people around it, so I get worried. You know what I mean? Like it's not the usual I can take care of. So I heard this, and you will find it like as a joke, and of course it doesn't make logical sense, but I think it's dangerous. There's an argument now, Muslims here and Muslims in Europe, that look at how Europe is falling apart and laying down arms to us. There is no logical reason for them to do that, except that it's a miracle from Allah, therefore Allah exists.
It's like the stupid birds that drop the stones on the...
Exactly. So the strength is coming from there. And by the way, Yasmine, it looks miraculous. Why would Europe give us everything? There is no reason for them to do that, except Allah.
They're fucking morons. That's why.
Okay, should I argue with the Muslim that, okay, listen, they're fucking morons because of multiculturalism, postmodernism, and cultural relativism, and you know what I mean? Like, it's
but you know what? You're right. On a simplistic, you know what? That's a great argument. It does look that way. The reason why they're bending over for us is because we are coming with the strength of Allah behind us, and this is the truth, and the truth always wins, and blah, blah, blah. Exactly. Same thing. We've said this before. When ISIS first started, I think I heard you say it. I can't remember who said it. When ISIS first started, everybody was behind them. And then when they started to fail, then it was like, they're not real Muslims.
Oh, yeah. Some of the things that ISIS did late 2014 is miraculous. I call it miraculous.
And they really did feel like Allah was on their side.
Yasmine, Mosul. The taking of Mosul from how many they were and the Iraqi Shia army of the Malki, it's literally a miracle. Even military strategists right now who are like PhDs can't find a good rebuttal to it. It's weird. Like, it's really weird.
There are ISIS wives that were saying, we married these men and we supported them and we had their babies because they were winning. And so we believed that Allah was on their side. But when they started to lose, we realized, Allah can't be on their side then. So then they left these men and they started to tell their stories.
That's why the loop, the repetitive cycle of ISIS winning, they're more foreign fighters, more proofs that Allah's with us, proof. That cycle in 2014 and early 2015 was disastrous. That's why.
And it's working. That same argument is what's happening in Europe right now. So they are winning in Europe. And so that narrative works again until it doesn't.
That narrative is working in Europe right now in the culture war, not the actual military.
Which is much more, this is more dangerous because
way more dangerous.
It's hidden, it's secretive, it's quiet.
And it's so slow that there is no direct thing you will point to. Here is the fall of Europe.
Yes.
It's like seriously the frog in boiling water.
Yes.
It's non noticeable when you look, and the Muslims I see talking in Arabic and in English on some. I have fake Muslim accounts, so I can hear what they say because I need to get better arguments. They always say, then why is Islam is the most
fastest
growing religion? We're having more babies. We're having everything. Yeah. The future is ours. Everything is ours. This is done. Only 30 years and Europe is a caliphate. Done. It's solved for them. They didn't even need one bullet to take Europe.
No. They've calculated how many babies they need to make. And each man, of course, has his 4 wives. Exactly. Marry them as young as possible to get as many childbearing years as possible, how many babies you can make out of each woman, and then they've calculated how long it will be before the countries that they're in are Muslim majority. Okay, bye.
No. Sorry. I saw this. No, sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm just kidding with you.
Last time when I left Lalo while talking to him. And I left him for a reason. When I came back, I said, sorry, there was a Linda there. And he didn't, yeah, because there was an actual Sarsour in my room. We laughed so hard about that. Like, there's a Linda Sarsour in my room. Cockroach, ladies and gentlemen, Sarsour means cockroach.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Oh sorry, Lalu, there's a Linda I have to take care of.
Such a perfect name for her.
Yeah. What a perfect name for her. And how is the leftist going against Linda progress going on? The Jake Tapper and honestly, in my opinion, I wouldn't even give these guys awesome credit. Like, it's so obvious to me. Like, if Linda was here, we should destroy her completely. But at least, okay, as you said, baby steps. Thank you, Jake Tapper. Thank you, everyone. It's baby steps to get rid. How do you think it's going on right now?
Well, I'm happy to see it. I honestly do feel like there is some sort of bridge building going on. So you mentioned Douglas Murray and the strange death of Europe. And Douglas Murray is somebody who, he puts it in such a eloquent British way. He says, I'm very promiscuous with the people I speak with. I know, I love him.
I love him.
So he's very promiscuous with the people he speaks with, right? He doesn't mind. He'll speak with anybody on any side of the spectrum. And he spoke with
Linda.
Yeah, he'll say what he needs to say. It doesn't matter who he's saying it to, right? And that's such a, unfortunately, it's such a rare thing these days, right? Everybody's so scared of who to talk to, because if I talk to this guy, but he talked to this guy, and then he talked to that guy, and he pet that guy's dog once, and so then that's going to make me a racist. So everybody's so scared. But Douglas Murray is one of those people that, you know, he gives no fucks, and that's fantastic.
And because of like type.
What was that?
A Hitchens type, like don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and what's really great about that in this political climate where everybody is so polarized is that I can see sort of, you talk about Jake Tapper calling out Linda Sarsour. That's really great. So and I've even this person named Seth, I don't want to, Seth Mandel, I think his last name was. He once tweeted something in support of hijab and modesty and whatever, and now he's tweeting against Linda Sarsour. So it's nice to see that rational minds from both sides of the spectrum are starting to meet in the middle and be like, okay, enough, right? So the fact that Douglas Murray is in a movie with Pamela Geller, and Ayaan Hirsi Ali is in that movie too, So it's sort of showing that, okay, we're all saying the same thing, and we're at the point now where we can't fight amongst ourselves. We're at the point now where we have to recognize that we all have a common enemy. And once we recognize that we all have a common enemy, then we can talk about how we're going to deal with the common enemy. But first of all, we have to all recognize that it exists. It's sort of like climate change. As long as you have climate change deniers, you can't really move forward, right? Like, you have to have everybody on board and say, yep, we really need to take care of this planet. Then we can start to talk about how we're going to take care of it. Now, of course, within the people that are having this conversation, there's a spectrum, right? There's some people that are too far on the, fear-mongering side, and there are others that are too far on the, obfuscation and no, everything's going to be okay side. But at least if we're all having the conversation, I'm happy. So I'm glad to be seeing this kind of cross-pollination going on.
Yeah, three things. If the warmongering side wasn't the only side talking about the issue, there were liberals talking about the issue, there wouldn't be a huge following to the warmongering side in the first place.
You're absolutely correct. Yeah, and that's why I'm
one of the main
especially grateful that the left is starting to wake up a little bit.
I don't even think it's such a great, like, I'm way more in, me, like, if we're gonna talk like Linda, if Linda was here, she would be fucking destroyed. Done. Here. I'm not kidding.
I know.
Like, there was a Linda type character called Azza Garf, which is a Muslim Brotherhood member of parliament. We called her Ali, Ayman, just to make, and we fucking destroyed her. We put her on Tony Khalifa's show, which, Tony Khalifa, I don't know if you know him, and we made a trap for her because, first of all, she's pro FGM returning to hospitals, and she's a terrible human being. And any laws against sexual harassment and rape in the street, it's a woman's fault if she's not wearing a hijab. I am not kidding, Yasmine. That's who she fucking is.
Oh, she deserved to be destroyed.
Exactly. Now, keep that in mind. She deserves to be destroyed. When we fucking, we all of it, we went after her on every fucking, we let her go crying out of parliament. But
good.
Good. But anyone from the West looking at this, like, oh, you male superior making, yes, I am insulting her. I am calling her names. Of course, I'm calling her. It's good. This is what makes me crazy.
But that's equality right there. If you're going to say something stupid, whether you're a man or a woman, you're going to get called out. That's equality.
Please, I know. And I'm not even calling for, like, equality to people being called stupid. I am saying there is a horrible human being which would cause if her laws get in order. And she's not like a random woman in the street saying it. She's a member of parliament, okay? So if she in her will cause human suffering, I have no problem whatsoever calling her names, destroying. I want her to be fucking emotionally destroyed and run to her home like she did. And leave parliament. Good. And now she's in prison. Even better. Like, I don't care.
Mabruk.
Mabruk. See, if I said that same thing to someone on the left in America, like, we destroyed a woman and we trapped her on a TV show in front of all Egypt to show how a hypocrite she is, and now she's in prison, that doesn't sound progressive social justice.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So hang on a minute, because those social justice progressive people are vicious when it comes to conservative Americans or Republican Americans. Then they are way worse than you and I would ever be towards somebody who disagreed with us on any political issues. So it's not that they have a problem with being vicious. In fact, they need to have a little bit more problems with being vicious. The issue is that they will only aim that viciousness towards other white Americans. But the reason why they would have an issue with what you did to this woman is because of the fact that she's brown and Muslim. They wouldn't even listen if you said to them, yeah, but she's pro FGM. It doesn't, the the issues don't matter. The identity matters more than the issue.
That's the point where my brain falls apart with any regressive, progressive, whatever we want to call him. It doesn't matter what she's for. That's the only thing that matters to me. I don't care if she has a vagina or she's black or she whatever. Anyone, if an alien, if some gold from Stargate SG-1, a Vulcan is pro FGM, I'm gonna destroy him. Like, I don't give a fuck about identity to the... In fact, I am treating people like individuals. I am the actual one. I am doing some Martin Luther things here, and I'm being called a racist, a misogynist, a sexist, which is insane. It's, I mean, I did this trick. Whenever a liberal comes attacking me, I specifically use Martin Luther King quotes as if they're my own, so that he would attack them. If only like rated based of color. I have a dream too. Like, holy shit. They have no idea where they are in the spectrum, and it's so like even the ones who, okay, let me tell you about this. It was a strange experience, seriously, because as you know, I have joined the ranks of the alt-right. Okay, I'm not kidding. If Mike Cernovich retweeted me, what shall I do? Done. I am dead. Like, there's no point. So along the attacks, there were racists from the actual racists from the alt-right, by the way, but I don't give a fuck about them. I didn't even reply, but I actually had the conversation with a liberal. I would call him regressive, and one of the things he said actually scared me. Like, not scared me as in I'm scared. Like, that's extremely dangerous what you're saying, which was you need to delete the tweet. That was and I had an argument, and so of course it was about soft bigotry, low expectations towards Muslims, and it's actually a tweet pro Muslims, like treat them better. They're not pets in the street. Like, whenever you see a Muslim, don't look, I've met a Muslim, like
pinch their cheeks and take a selfie with them.
Yeah. If you look at the tweet, you will agree with it, and it was pro Muslim. It's not even pro ex-Muslim. That was the weird part. Okay, so. After the conversation, I specifically asked, what in that tweet do you think is unfactual or untrue? His reply was, it doesn't matter. That's fucking scary. What do you mean it doesn't matter?
No, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
No. Wait. That's religion. That is religion.
100%. 100% agree with you. This, and they have their prophets too.
Yeah. When Nushin was saying things about God, I would disagree with her. But when Nushin was saying things about the left going into another religion, I totally agree with her, and I see her point clearly.
Yeah.
That they're turning into some... and I know these mental barrier tactics because I've dealt with them my entire life, but I never thought of them ever to be secular until this year, until the 2016 election. I've never seen it before from any secular side until the last 2 years in my life.
So, and you will read this in Douglas Murray's book too, where he talks about one of the things that's missing in Europe right now that could counter this Islamization is identity. So Muslims are strong because we have that strong feeling of ummah, right? Everybody is supporting each other. And when you take that away, and now everybody's an atheist, and you don't have a strong, there's not something to rally, there's not a identity that is a shared identity anymore. Okay, so we don't have anything to replace that shared identity yet. And that's why I believe the political spectrums has become like a religion. And the people on the right generally, this is very generally, have Christianity. I mean, I'm only talking about here in the West, in North America especially. But people on the left are generally irreligious. And that's why the way that they act towards people on the right, honest to God, Yamar, reminds me 100% of how Muslims act towards Jews.
It's the same thing.
It's the same mindset. They think they're like, this is Al-Quran al-Kareem, like this is the truth right here, whatever belief it is that they have. And anybody who strays a little bit from this perfect truth is the enemy. You're not one of us.
And it was
you are
so
the
weird.
worst of human beings, and you should not just be punched, but we're going to be happy if you're killed. It's the
happy if you killed thing
mindset.
is morally disgusting to the point that happy they're killed. I've seen it even in the fucking Las Vegas attack, because they're probably concert Trump supporters good that they're there. What?
Yeah, there was a woman, a CBC executive that was fired for that. I don't generally, I'm not normally wouldn't be happy about somebody being fired because of something that they said, but I'm actually happy this woman was fired because they needed to make a statement. That was totally unacceptable. Just like the other one, that the L'Oreal model that said all white people are racist. I'm glad she got fired too.
Yeah, and the whole all white people, all white males thing was old. The thing that's new is any woman, any minority turning against them, they have a thing for them too. It's not even about like wrong thought, wrong speak. You're out and woman, you're internally misogynist into the black Uncle Tom Coon Asian. They have a list of ways they can explain why this.
Well, the thing is that they're moral, they're hypocritical. It's just so shocking how they can be so hypocritical. So let's take an example of the first woman who said that she's happy that these people died in Las Vegas. If somebody were to say, I'm happy that these Muslims died, right? Like, she would consider herself to be the exact opposite side of the political spectrum of those people, when she's exactly the same. What's the difference? You're happy that a human being has died. Who cares what that human being's
politics
preference in music was, or political preference is irrelevant. You're happy that human beings have died. So you are no different than the people on the other side of the spectrum that are happy that human beings died. Same thing with the other one that said all white people are racist. How are you any different? But again, she thinks she's on the opposite side of the spectrum, but how is she any different than somebody that says all gay people are immoral, right? Or all Muslims are terrorists, or all black people are criminals? She's exactly the same.
That's a test some people do to the regressive left now. They have 2 videos of an asshole redneck from Texas saying fuck black people. They play that video and say that's a racist piece of shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they say right. They play that video from Black Lives Matter leader that said fuck white people, and they say that's a racist piece of shit, right? None of them will say anything.
Yeah.
Nope. He's justified. And some people say, no, I agree it's racism, but it's justified racism.
Oh my God. That's like when they say weird. They killed these Jews in Israel, and they're like, yeah, but they were Zionists. So that 13-year-old girl that got stabbed in her bed, well, she's a Zionist, so it's okay. Like making excuses, like they just.
So weird, because I've never reached that level of people on the other side glad they're dead, whatever. I have some controversial.
Unless when you were a Muslim and you were happy that people died in 9/11. Right?
Of course,
it's the same mindset.
I've seen any catastrophe. If it was a hurricane in America, I was glad.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same mindset, exactly.
Same mindset.
But I was even saying that I have some controversial opinions that people might disagree with, and let's have a discussion, because I want ISIS and Qaeda and Hamas members to die. Like the resentment, the hate, that same hate that people have towards people, I have towards jihadists. But it's when I talk about a member of a terrorist organization, it's not nowhere near a political view to the point that it's insane that same hate, like
they're not going to a music concert, or they're not just going to work in the World Trade Center. These are people that are actively committing their lives towards murdering people.
Exactly. Let's just say the people in any political system won't harm anyone through their lives. Why are you even mad at them? They won't harm anyone. I'm just, my thing is, if you're gonna harm anyone, I will fight you. That's my thing. It's not has any Muslim like Yasmin. There's a lot of people around me who believe in this to oppose this, but I know they won't do anything, and I have no problem whatsoever with them. Like I get called every day like you deserve hell forever. You will fuck your mom and sister, and you should be killed, and all of these Muslims done. Let's have an argument, and I have no problem with you. I understand the difference between people with bad ideas and people who actually do something. Man, I can read character. Like I know, okay, this guy is actually dangerous. This guy is just an idiot who's repeating things, and I don't care. And I see it in Muslims, and I see it in America's right. I can see, okay, this guy, because I'm not only doing activism, atheism, or whatever this is. I have some other American communities, and by the way, the American communities are not that extreme like the fringes on Twitter. They're just normal people. When I'm gaming, they're just normal people, and it's weird to see like normal people, all of them, like I call them friends. I play with them video games, and all of them, we voted for Obama, or we're young enough, but we were pro Obama, and most of them, like 70-80% of them voted Trump. And this thing is like, how dare you? And their answers is not that complicated. Some answers are like just criticism of Hillary, and I don't like this, done, simple, has nothing to do with the alt-right racism, rise of white supremacy, and all these things. And some answers are actually quite weird. I don't agree with them, but some answers are like, oh, it's when I noticed that the liberals were the actual racists. I changed my mind. I heard that a lot. Like, these guys are the actual racists, which of course there are racists on both sides. Let's be clear. But I've heard that. I've heard there was an idiot kid. He's like, okay, I'm not defending him, but he was like, I don't want to defend him because he's an idiot, but he was like, you keep doing the right thing and you still get shit. So let's try the wrong thing for a while. Like, he was like, okay, I've done anything right and still getting called this, and that. Fuck it, I am those things. Like, he was so, okay, I am the bad guy.
Yeah.
I am a Trump voter, and I am actually saying I am a bad guy. I'm not even arguing that the Trump side is right. I am bad. Like, it was so weird to see people saying things like, okay, we're the bad guys here. Thank you. Like, you pushed us to the point that there is no right side, and apparently we're the bad guys. We're deplorable. And they keep loving this deplorable thing. Yeah, we're deplorables. What? They're so weird. And they're just normal as Americans living and playing video games with his wives, they're normal people. They're not evil with a capital E at all. And they lost the left. All of them voted Obama. And they lost.
Millions of people that voted for Obama twice voted for Trump this time.
And
what you said is true, and it's extremely simplistic and ridiculous when people say everybody that voted for Trump is racist. And their argument is Trump is a racist, so everybody that voted for Trump is racist. And to that same person, I said, okay, Mohammed raped a child. So does that mean that every Muslim is a child rapist? Like, they don't follow their own logic ever. Then they're like, no, that's a horrible thing to say. How could you say that? It's like, what, you didn't realize that it's exactly the same thing,
that
right?
That was a good regressive expression right there.
Yeah, they do. They're just, you can't, they're so illogical that it's difficult to have a conversation with them because they're just too emotional, and there's not a lot of rational thinking involved. But
yeah, and I was sorry.
No, I was going to say, as far as Trump, I think that there are a lot of factors involved. First of all, Trump is an idiot. Like, he is not a good human being. It's still,
that's why
it just perplexes me, and I can't even get over the fact that he is leader of the free world. I can't believe that this is the truth. Like, I still feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. I can't listen to him talk. I can't see his face. I have to scroll as quickly as possible. I'm not even at the point like a lot of people like Ali spends his time making fun of him all the time. I can't even do that because it's not a joke to me. This is a tragedy. It's not, you know, like I really have zero respect for him. So
same here.
Yeah, but I can absolutely 100% see how he won. And a lot of the reasons why he won have absolutely nothing to do with him. This is the thing. Part of the reason why he won, first of all, is because people hated Hillary so much. So that he was lucky. And another reason why I think is statistically, if you look back like 200 years or something, every single time there was two administrations of the same party, the third one would be the opposite party. So we already had the Democrats for 2 in a row. We weren't going to have Democrats again. That's just the way that's just the way it works. The pendulum has to swing, right? If we had this for 8 years, we need something new. Everybody was talking about we need somebody who's anti-establishment. We need somebody new. We need somebody fresh. We don't want somebody same old, same old. Hillary was literally same old, same old. She was part of Obama's administration. She was no different.
More hawkish, and she would make shit over here that is incredibly disastrous. That no I don't think would start a proxy war with Russia. And I will talk about that later. Sorry.
No, and I actually from where I'm sitting as a Canadian, when I'm looking at this situation, she's more of a Republican than Trump is, right? Mm-hmm. She's the one that was talking about. She had a problem with gay marriage way after Trump said many years prior. He'd said, "Of course, I'm pro-gay marriage. Why not?" He started out as a Democrat and then flipped to become a Republican because it was strategic for him. And she did the opposite. She started out as a Republican and then switched to become a Democrat because it was strategic for her. I mean, these people are just politicians at the end of the day. And they're just going to, well, I don't know. Trump's not a politician. He's just a moron. But he'll do what he needs to do to get elected. And he realized that there was a gaping hole, that nobody was paying attention. Everybody's paying so much attention to the 0.001% of people in the country that might want to use a bathroom that is neither male nor female. So we have to create transgender bathrooms. Everybody was so focused on that, but there's a huge population of people that were being ignored. And he realized, this is my chance. Look at, these are all the people that are watching my reality show, right? And so he just tapped into that. He just wanted power, and he found the best way to get it. I'm grateful that he's not doing a lot of the things that he promised to do. So I'm at least happy for that.
I was saying about Trump. Sometimes when I was on Armen in the Atheist Republic, I was trying to give advice to the left to criticize Trump correctly, because I don't want the white supremacist. I want the Sam Harris criticism. I want the incompetent idiot criticism. Okay. Once I said that, I just even criticizing the left, all of the chat and Armen were like, "Oh, a Trump supporter, he's talking bad about Hillary nonstop," and I realized that outcasting mentality will of course force people to just do it out of spite. I did things
that was
out
a part
of spite.
Of it too. Yeah,
I did things out of spite when I get attacked by a regressive who intentionally wants to drag me into an intersectional or whatever that I have nothing to do with. I am here fighting FGM in Upper Egypt, dude. What are you talking about? Trans bathrooms, like, dude, seriously. So I'm gonna like react as, okay, fuck trans people, like,
yeah, you know? Right. Yeah,
like that react because they keep insisting on moral superiority to the point that, like, and of course I wouldn't say that because I don't believe in it, but I want to piss him off, that moral superior who insists, like, what's wrong, Yasmine? If I'm here in Egypt fighting my fight for women's rights, if my answer to any progressive issue in America is I don't care. What's wrong with that? Like, what the fuck is wrong with that? Don't you care about Black Lives Matter? Actually, no, I don't, and I don't. Holy shit! How dare you? Like, what? Why am I supposed? What did I do wrong? Like, what? White supremacy now? Like, what?
Yeah.
Why are you so insistent on everyone getting in exactly how you want them into their fold, or else no? Okay, then. Guess what? I am anti-Black Lives Matter. Good job. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know what you mean. And
it's a push.
There's people have trouble with nuance. They just want things to be black and white, you know, right or left. You know, the good guys have a white hat and the bad guys have a black hat, and that's it. And of course, it doesn't work that way because
sometimes
obviously Black Lives
Matter. The good
Matter.
guys to be black and the bad guys to be white.
That's right. Yeah. Like they had a legitimate concern. Okay. Yes, it's true that there was a problem with police brutality, but then they had to go and take it too far. And it became like a, you know, almost like a black supremacy group. It stunk of like Nation of Islam and all of those groups. So it just went too far. I was going to say one point that you made about people doing something to just piss off the other side.
Yeah.
I remember reading an article where somebody was saying they did exactly that they voted for Trump, never thinking that he would actually win, but just doing the vote sort of as a fuck you. And the reason why nobody thought he was ever going to win was because all the polls were telling us that Hillary was going to win. And that's, of course, media, you know, telling us what they want and what they want us to believe. But, you know, there was a Jimmy Kimmel episode where Obama was reading, you know how Jimmy Kimmel does this thing where people read mean tweets?
Yep.
He was reading mean tweets and he read the tweet where Trump had said Obama was the worst president in the history of the United States. And so Obama reads that tweet and he says, well, at least I'll get the chance to be a president. And then he dropped the phone, like dropped the mic. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit. If Trump ends up becoming the president after that, you know, like that's how confident everybody was, so confident that Obama's going to actually do that comedy bit.
It all started in the White House Correspondents' Dinner. It all started in the House Correspondents' Dinner. If you pick that, okay, let's go. Yeah, and that's why
everybody was so positive he would never win, right?
That arrogance is destructive to the left right now, and that's why I want the criticism of Trump to be that, like, all the accusations of racism I'm not for, because Trump is an egotistical maniac to the point that anyone who's kissing his ass, he will be pro. Anyone against him, he will call names. Like, he will call names.
Are correct.
Look at Hillary, the lying Ted, whatever, white, black, or whatever. If black people suddenly are voting Trump, he will go best people ever. Best people, love people. Listen, slavery, bad.
I mean, yeah. Even him, remember when he started to pretend he didn't know who David Duke was?
Yeah. He's just out for himself.
Care.
And that criticism is more valid 100 times than the racist white supremacist and that. And this whole white supremacy thing, because when you said there is actual issues, because of course there are actual issues. Remember the normal Americans I talk to who don't have a Twitter account, who don't, like, just playing video games? Those normal Americans, the black Americans who I play with, the thing they don't like, the thing that is an actual issue, is law enforcement and the police. It has nothing to do with white people. They don't hate white people. They never seen anything bad from normal white people. They really have something serious with. They keep on telling me, like, I had a DWD today, and what the hell is that? It's a driving while black. I was told because it was black. And there is actual issues. But there are issues,
as I said, it started with legitimate issues, but then it just
But here's my point. Here's my actual point. The whole media white supremacy thing turned it by force into black against white. That's more dangerous than black communities having a problem with law enforcement.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, they and because here is the thing, when they were talking, Yasmine, like, that fucking Latino cop, that was he is an ass. He was. They're not even against, like, white cops. They actually don't like cops. Period. So it's not even like, which is, you can go into, like, guys, not all cops and everything, but I'm telling you what they're saying. So what they're saying has nothing to do with white people. They, if you're gonna ask them, have you seen a bad thing in America from white people? No white explaining, no white whatever. All these things don't actually exist. There is a problem with law enforcement. Period.
Yeah.
But it kept on going to places that are not even real, according to the Americans I'm talking to normally.
And the thing is, too, with Americans is that they aren't black and white. They are a mix of in between, right? It's an incredibly multicultural society. And so when you try to do this black and white thing, you're pitting two groups against each other that a lot of Americans don't fit into either one of those groups. And I mean, in Canada, we like to pride ourselves on being multicultural, but we're nowhere near as multicultural as the United States. I mean,
as a melting pot.
Doesn't matter where I am, California or Vegas, it doesn't matter where I am. I am always just so, impressed by how American people really do have their identity. First and foremost, we are Americans, and anything else is secondary. And that really is, it really is a good thing. It's what keeps them strong. It's why when the hurricane happened, they all supported each other. This bullshit that we're seeing of black and white and right and left and blah, blah, blah. You're right. It's all on Twitter. Most Americans are not like that. Most human beings are rational.
They are pissed at the media.
And the media. Oh, for sure. The media plays
Here's the thing. The people of all colors in the people I talk to who are pissed at the media are so glad that Trump is calling out the media as fake news. Like, they're actually rooting for Trump to take down mainstream media. Mainstream media have fucked us over so many times, and doing this race baiting and
the difference is
at the media.
The difference is the numbers. So Obama called out Fox for being fake news, but Fox is just one. All the other media is more left-leaning. Yeah. So for Obama took on one station, and Fox is definitely right-leaning. You know what I mean? It is skewed, of course. And the other ones are also skewed. I mean, both are true. The only difference is the numbers, right? So now when liberal media are being skewed, it's really gonna make a difference because it's practically all of the media that we see.
It's the same phenomena of rooting for a bad guy calling something out because he's the only one calling it out. Like, Tucker calls out a lot of bullshit on the Tucker Carlson show, a lot of real bullshit from the left, and nobody's talking about it. So everybody loves Tucker, and so on and so on. And to clarify the thing I was saying about all the issues, because of course I don't understand, I want to say what they say. That's all. There is an actual, you can say there is an actual harmful, dangerous division right here between black communities and law enforcement. But saying it's between black and white makes it even more dangerous.
No, I agree. Yeah,
because they had nothing against whites whatsoever. They were bitching about a black cop. They were actually bitching about that black. Even the dangerous mentality, which is fuck the cop. It's not even against fuck the white people. It's not fuck the white cop to begin with. There is a mentality, a division which is harmful between black communities and law enforcement. Period. And it went to places on the media that bend the knee. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but also even calling it, black versus blue, so black people versus cops, is also making it simplistic too, because I think it's really more of a class issue, to be honest.
Exactly, because they were saying their white body who was getting shit by the cops too is on our side. It's not even black versus, but it's a level of class, which is somehow majority black or something. Listen, I don't want to talk about this because I don't know, but I'm telling you what they told me. But it's the thing that fascinated me, which changed my opinion, is when they were bitching about a Latino cop and a black cop. So it's okay. Now at least the black versus blue thing is at least more real than turning it into a fucking civil war between black people and white people. You know what I mean? Like, at least I sense that to be real more. It's still dangerous. It's still wrong. But at least there is something there to start a conversation about. But of course, the conversation turned into white supremacy, not problems with law enforcement. And that's it. I was gonna tell you more stuff before we finish the conversation about some things you said. Like, I wanted to talk about racism in the Middle East. And you were definitely right on the last podcast about the Gulf, because the Gulf has, like, Kuwait is so nonchalant about Filipinos being slaves to the point that it's not even discussed. Like, Filipinea, you do whatever you want with her. Of course, she's a slave. Like, it's fucking disgusting. But I want to push back against one thing. Not the Arab world, not North Africa, like, I will defend Syria, Lebanon, Egypt.
That's why I said GCC, if you noticed.
Yeah, GCC.
I was
GCC is
careful.
correct.
Yeah.
Good. Because we people, we hate each other because of religion, because of different views, because I can actually defend Egyptians about the racism thing. Like, it never even crossed their mind. The whole thing and I will include Lebanon and Syria in this. The whole thing has to do with you meet someone for the first time, different views, then the fight and the hate starts. It's never like, look at this guy.
Your skin color, yeah.
No, it was never skin color. That's why I can get out of any situation I'm in. I know exactly what to say to the Salafis. I know exactly what to say. But if it was race, I would be fucking done. That's why, like, if you hear stories about the Lebanon civil war, it was disastrous even knowing who is who. Like, are you the one supporting by Israel, or are you the one supporting by Saudi Arabia, or the Iranian guys?
You look at three Lebanese people, you can't tell which one's Christian, which one's Muslim.
No one knows anything. There was, like, the things I read about is like friendly fire. You know what I mean? There was no racial component. So I want to defend, actually, like, I want to defend
for
Libya.
sure. Maybe I didn't make myself clear enough, but I was most definitely talking about the GCC.
Yup, it's insane in the GCC. Like, Saudi men and Kuwaitis have a serious fucking problem, and it's mainly Asian Filipino more than blacks even. There is a thing about Shagala maid, what's the correct translation, that is fucking disgusting. And when and of course, blacks in Libya, by the way, let's include those, because Libya has a serious. There is all the Nigerians who fled.
I don't know if I want to have this conversation. Do you have a question? Let's move on.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Sorry.
I saw a lot of stuff when I was in Khazar.
Yeah, I just wanted to say there's a lot of things about you, other personal racism. That's about it. And sorry, Yasmine, like, the last podcast, I also near the end, I like said. And
these are heavy topics, especially when you have personal, experience and stuff. Like, it's not like we're just having these intellectual, theoretical conversations, right? Like, we've experienced this shit. We've seen it. We've heard it. We've met people. We know this stuff intimately. So it's
remember when I told you I won't answer personal questions because I feel the same about a lot of issues, so I totally understand. Let's finish it on a good mood. And Armin was telling me in a message, Omar, did you get offended or something or anything? Look, Armin, no, please, no, don't. He's such a sweetheart. It's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. Armin, I think you're one of the best. You're doing so much to increase human well-being in general, by Isis Republic, by anything. And I wanted just how much to tell him about this disagreements and offend. Think I'm even offended. I love you guys so much. It's so like the mentality of being people offended by words. Dude, I am so far away from all that. I only fear violence. The real offensive shit from Muslims, don't even touch me. I'm not even shivered 1%. Are you saying that disagreement? Yeah,
people don't get that because people here really do get offended by words because they've never experienced anything worse. So that's to them is the worst possible thing, you know. But to people like us, it's like, what is that? Like when people tweet horrible things to me or something, and it's like, and then people get like, oh my God, you know, I'm really sorry that I'm like, you're apologizing that some random anonymous person wrote
and why
something?
Are they apologizing for someone else as if they took an offense for me? Why are people taking offense for me, by the way? Why are people taking offense for
I appreciate it's great, but it's like not necessary, like really.
No, it was only weird because when a guy messaged me like, sorry for that asshole racist who told you a sand nigger. That's insane. That's bad. But listen, dude, why is white supremacist okay? Like, why did you think that accusation specifically? Like, really, it pissed me off. But being called non-stop sexist racist is not. Like, why? In fact, sometimes I get offended, not offended, like sometimes I get pissed off more of falsely representing my views than some random like racial shit. In fact, Yasmin, I'm telling you, like all the racists are like Comedy Central in my, like, you know what I mean? Like we make fun of them. Like, I was with a friend, and that guy, the liberals are cancer guy, keeps messaging me and her for you Muslim cunt, you Muslim cunt, you Muslim cunt. And her reply was, oh, too bad he's racist. I would totally agree with him that liberals are cancer. Like, it's a joke, you know what I mean? It's not that. I feel like they give in too much into like racial slurs to the point that, do you think that we're that weak? If someone said a word, I'm gonna be fucking traumatized and destroyed.
But dude, this is the narrative that they have been fed. Linda Sarsour literally said that Islamophobia in America today is worse, that Muslims are more oppressed by it than Black people were under slavery.
Oh my God.
Okay. So
how is Linda still a thing? How did you guys take care of it? Oh my God, Linda. Fucking,
so they
because
really
she's woke,
believe that we're. What was that?
She's woke, Yasmin. She's woke.
Yeah, she's woke as fuck. Yes. Yep. So people really do think that we are, you know, being oppressed everywhere, left, right, and center, and they are feeling so guilty and bad about it, and they want to protect us and they want to make us feel better.
Okay,
it's ridiculous.
How many times? The only time I feel threatened again is by violent jihadis. Period. That's when I plan protection. That's when I want to fight. I never planned even protection from Muslims telling me things or racists in America telling me things or anything. Like, is that even a thing I should care about? I never thought about it. Sorry. Like,
Raheel Reza.
It's weird when liberals keep apologizing for things that oh, Yasmin, that guy's an idiot. Okay. Someone on the regressive left apologized for me for, wait for it, the Crusades. You know how much living my life here in Cairo, I've suffered so much under the Crusades. The Crusades, well, it was the #1 in my mind every day. Like, I was living my life, fucking Crusades, man. It was the Crusades' fault. Like, what the fuck? For the Crusades? Are you fucking a real human being right now? I laughed and I kept laughing because I thought it was an awesome joke. It wasn't a joke. He was talking for real, Yasmin. What happened to these brains of these people? Oh my God. Okay, say what you say. Sorry.
They need to read a history book, I think. I was going to say that Raheel Reza, who is a Canadian Muslim reformer, she has a video. It's a really great video, and it's called By the Numbers. It's done by the Clarion Project. And in it, she addresses Ben Affleck and how he attacked Sam Harris. And she was saying, like, you know, Ben, calm down. I don't need you to protect me from Sam Harris's words, because she's a Muslim, right? She's like, you know, Muslims don't need you to protect us from the words of an intellectual. you know, what we need is protection from the jihadis that want us both dead. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Let's get our priorities straight here.
Again, with that, you're thinking Muslims are so weaker than they actually are. They're way more powerful than you. Like, as I said, I credit Muslims fighting terrorism more than Westerns fighting terrorism. Like, seriously, they are on the front lines and they do incredible. They die. The last, and it's all the time, by the way. Again, with when you're covering media and can cover terrorist attacks all the time, the last suicide bomb was a week ago. 19 Egyptian soldiers in Sinai. Done. They're gone. And I give so much credit to the Egyptian Muslims standing on checkpoints, knowing very well they're gone. Like, see these people. Like, it's so weird for me to be talking to, like, I have allies in counter-terrorism, Muslims, way more than atheists. That's what I want to say.
So because they understand that this is a common enemy, they get that. The problem with people on the West is they don't understand that this is an enemy. If it was KKK or Nazi people, the Nazis, they recognize that's an enemy and we need to stand up against it forcefully. But they don't recognize it when it's a foreign, same thing, supremacist ideology, you know, terrorist organization that is way more powerful than neo-Nazis could ever hope to be today. But they don't see that this one is dangerous. They only see that this one is. It's just their navel gazing, right? They're only familiar with their own context. They're only familiar with their own, you know, country and their own country's history.
That's why I'm saying the mindset is so different, because if a liberal watched those Muslims fighting, if he heard what they're saying, he would say racist. Like, they actually call them radical Islamic terrorism, and a liberal in America won't say it.
Yeah.
It's so weird that when you don't give a fuck about Islamophobia, you can fight terrorism so well.
And that's what I'm hoping we'll get to that point. I'm hoping that we'll get to the point where we recognize a terrorist, whether it doesn't matter what ideology, doesn't matter what ethnicity, it doesn't matter what race, all that matters is that he is a terrorist. And that's the issue here. And we in the Muslim world get that already, because we don't have that confusion of, you know, white guilt and identity politics and all that stuff, right? We're all brown. There are good brown people, there are brown people. We don't fucking, nobody's even thinking about the color of somebody's skin, right?
I never
you just want to stay alive. That's it.
The first time I thought about color of skin was after the internet and the dial-up came, and I read about it, about America. I never thought about it before. At the beginning, I was much ignorant than I am now, and I didn't even speak English that well. And the things I got from it was a black religion versus a white religion. There is no way. Like, something as racism is just stupid. And by the way, the confusion came because the KKK had a grand magician master, so I actually thought it was a religion. I didn't even think it was as stupid as a color of skin. Like, the information confused me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I in a million years, like, I wouldn't think that color of skin would actually enter the conversation about anyone. I never even thought about it, but the American mentality made me think about it. You know what I mean?
But again, I really, honestly, like, when you come to America one day and you just travel around, you know, I've driven through, you know, everywhere from Florida, like all over the entire country. And trust me when I tell you, Americans are not actually like that at all. It's just garbage media.
Yeah, I am saying this because I deal with Americans who are not that deep into politics. They're into gaming and comic books and sci-fi TV shows. That's what they care about.
And they really are. It's an inclusive. I mean, Faisal talks about this. He talks about the fact that he can come in as an Iraqi. He's only been there for 4 years, and he's embraced as an American. He's an American. That's it. And you can't. The opposite isn't true.
Of course.
A person can't go into Iraq and then within a few years feel like I'm Iraqi. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Other countries don't embrace their, you know, new immigrants like that. He was talking about his family members that are all over Europe, and same thing. Doesn't matter how long you're in Germany, you're not like a real German or not. My friend, a Canadian, married a Swedish guy, was living in Sweden for many, many years, and she never felt embraced by the Swedish culture. She never felt like she was one of them. She always felt like an outsider. America doesn't have that. America lets you in. It embraces you. You're one of us. These are our values. America is based on ideas. It's not based on identity. A lot of countries are based on identity.
And they should defend the American values and ideas instead of defending identities.
Absolutely. They got it ass backwards right now.
Ass backwards, because what makes America great is the ideas and the First Amendment and the things they should be fighting for. All of them should be fighting for.
They lost it. Yeah.
That's why when anyone says, like when I say it as a joke, I'm a Western values supremacist, I mean that if the fight was Western values against this, good, that's not racist, that's not anything, and keep on fighting that fight. I am with you. Actually, but it all went bad because of fucking identity and racism. That ruined the whole, even the important argument. When I even say like Melissa Chen is saying this and that's the important thing that is needed for the pessimism of me and Douglas Murray. That's what's important. So thank you so much, Yasmine, and keep on doing the good work. I love when you on every podcast. I love Secular Jihadist, and we keep on those Sunni voices on Secular Jihadist against the Shia majority, please.
I need a woman, and I need somebody with a Sunni background to back me up. It's a sausage Shia party.
I swear there was a lot. I don't know why once they opened the Twitter of Ali and said, seen J.K. Rowling and said, they have, I will criticize them. They have a backlash effect against liberals from Obama's years to the point that they're now going and saying, like, listen, come talk to the Westerners. And the second they see like basic, no, it's not Islam's fault. Okay, I'm done. I'm not even talking to these guys. There's no way. Sorry. Like, you know, like they too have and there is the word used is still liberal. I hate liberals. It's not like regressive left. It's not anything. So, and I hate liberals and I hate feminists. That's the words are fucking destroyed. They're destroyed because of regressive left and insane feminists, which is sad. And sometimes I'm conflicted between, okay, the word should be like, let's use it to be acceptable to anyone. I want that the use of language is communication. So it's actually better, in my opinion, okay, anyone do whatever he wants or she wants. But I would still hold to women's rights advocates. I am not a fucking feminist. You know what I mean? Like, that's me. I'm not
willing to give up on the word.
Yeah, I know you don't. And I'm not saying you should do. But I'm telling you, like me, the communication itself as language is over to me. Like, I can't have a conversation, especially here, especially with a lot of our circles. Like, it's always women's rights activists. That's because they've seen a lot of shit that's just, and I blame also normal feminists for not criticizing the crazy ones. I blame the left for not criticizing the insane left. I blame it. They took over.
They are now, but changing very, very slowly. But like I mentioned in my previous podcast, people like Mona Al-Tahawi, when they tell Western women to sit down and shut up. Yeah, she's not the only one. Many Muslim, that are popular and feminists in the Muslim world have said similar things, and it causes Western feminists to sit down and be quiet because they don't want to be offensive. It's just like when Black people tell white people, we don't want you in part of the Black Lives Matter movement. We don't need you. Get out. Like, this isn't for you. And I actually saw that happen on stage. Maryam Namazi, who fought during the apartheid in South Africa, side by side, you know, and she had a Black American woman from Black Lives Matter tell her that she wasn't needed as an ally.
Can I say fuck that black woman, or am I racist?
No, you can say that. But that woman was doing the exact same thing that Monel Tahawi did, and others, when they tell feminists,
it's eating
down,
itself.
I don't need you as an ally.
Itself, the left is eating
so short-sighted bullshit identity politics garbage, because if you really did care, if you really did care about Black people, if you really did care about women, then you would want as many allies as possible to be supporting you against this injustice. You wouldn't be picking your allies and saying, nah, you don't have the right skin color, you don't have the right ethnicity. Then you're not really caring about the issue, are you? You're just trying to make yourself a little treehouse club or something.
Yeah, it's eating itself, and I've seen it over the last 2 years. Like the Jews were the first ones out. Now the gays and Asians are out. Gays still, like Asians are out. Asians and Jews are now white people.
Yeah,
officially done.
And so true.
Yeah, I swear, like they're officially white, cis, heterosexual males.
Yeah.
Even the women. It's insane that who's next? The next, from what I'm seeing, the next are gays actually. Like these are no, you're not oppressed enough. By the way, out and keep on. The left is dying. The left is divided. Keep outing people so that they would go to the other side. Meanwhile, all over the internet, the red pill culture is going on and on and on, and people either moving to the center or actually moving to the right fucking wing.
Yeah, I know, but it's like you said, if there was a rational voice, if there's another choice. Ali Rizvi gives the best analogy of this. He said, if you're in a house and it's burning down and everybody around you is like, no, these aren't real flames. Not all flames. Look at the beauty of these flames. And you're like, it's fucking burning down and nobody wants to listen to you. And then even if it's Donald Trump that's opening a door, you don't know where that door is leading. You don't trust Donald Trump, but it's a fucking door. And the house is burning down. So you're going to go out that door, right?
Yeah. The real reason of the flames is imperialism and the Crusades.
Yeah, of course.
That made the flames. So blame imperialism and the West, please. It's not the flames' fault.
The issue is we need a rational voice holding open another door or actually helping to put out this fire. If rational people were helping to put out the fire, people wouldn't be running to the red pill door.
Oh, of course. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Totally agree. And as usual, Yasmine, I love talking to you. And you're welcome here anytime. And thank you so much, guys. And that's about it. Keep on the Shia Sunni. And when you were on Secular Jihadist and you said, I didn't even care about Shia. I didn't even know about them. And just know that that's an Egyptian thing, not a Sunni thing. A lot of Sunnis fucking care about Shias all the time. But in Egypt, there is no such thing as Sunni and Shia. There's no Shia. There's nothing. That conversation doesn't exist. So it's an Egyptian thing.
In places like Iraq, of course, where there's much more of a Shia population. But yeah, generally, the majority...
The Egyptian kind of upbringing, no one here even knows the thing about the Shias. Like Salah ad-Din made sure that no Shias are alive in Egypt.
Yeah.
And nobody knows that, by the way. You know about sorry to enlong the conversation, one last thing. You know about the guys who built Cairo, built Al-Azhar, built the citadels, all Shia, are the Fatimid Empire. Shias built Cairo. And everything was stamped after it, Sunni, Sunni, Sunni. Now Al-Azhar is the #1 Sunni authority in the world, and Al-Azhar is called Al-Azhar after Fatima Zahra, the wife of Ali ibn Abi Talib. It's the most Shia thing ever.
Oh, wow.
Yasmine, who built Egypt are the Shia. And Salah ad-Din came and killed them all.
Oh.
But Salah ad-Din is awesome because he wasn't that bad to the Jews in Jerusalem, of course. And we make movies about him. It's a mess. Yeah, indeed. Thank you. Yes. Goodbye, people.